Hi. For today, we're going to talk about the elements of radio. So, inside a radio program, we can hear several different elements that comprise uh, one whole radio program. So, if you listen to a radio program, you can hear several different things that are happening, or you can hear several different elements. Okay, inside the program that basically makes you or basically identifies um, or comprises what that radio program is. So I'm going to discuss these particular elements. So we're going to discuss it one by one. The first element, of course, is the spoken word. So what is spoken word? Verbal language is the primary code in radio. Okay? Radio is scripted, but the prepared script must be delivered as if it were unstructured. Everyday language, colloquialism, common expressions, and embellishments of phrases are also encouraged, and speech on radio must sound spontaneous. Okay, so in talking about spoken words, so it's very apparent, of course, that it being or radio lacking visuals would rely on the spoken word to uh, basically become the primary code of communication in radio. Okay. Next is sound. The sound is usually a manifestation of the presence of something. So example, it can be a ringing bell, a cow mooing, or a door closing, laughter, clapping. So these things signify that something is happening. Sounds are introduced to radio to add realism to an event or to enhance the mood or atmosphere of a scene. Finally, words often complement the sound for greater effect. So words and sound come together in order to create a greater effect or a greater means of reaching the audience. Next, of course, is silence. So silence, uh, why is silence part of the element? Well, the elements of radio. Well, basically, silence normally signifies that there is nothing happening. But on the other hand, it can also be deliberately applied to indicate that there is something happening, such as thinking, or it can be a pause in noise or sound, which could be employed to heighten a dramatic scene or to indicate a comical punch or suspense, for example. So, silence, if used properly, uh, is a very important part of radio. Next, of course, is music. On radio, music performs these particular functions. So, it is for aesthetic appreciation, and it is to signify that something outside itself. In a way, music becomes even in AM or FM or any radio program, music is a very vital part of radio. Okay, music can serve as a boundary or program frame. It has become customary for producers to use snippets of commercial music to denote program beginnings and endings. Kumbaga, it has become a framing mechanism uh, for radio programs or even for segments in radio programs. Okay, so that you know that another segment is starting or another segment is ending. Okay. Music can be used as link. Music are often played between scenes of a radio drama or between segments for long programs. These snatches of music indicate the shifting of subject, time, location, and setting. For a radio drama, for example, if you play, uh, uh, if you're going to do flashbacks. Okay, you can play, let's say if you're going to flashback to the 80s, so you can play music from the 80s to indicate that, oh, this is the timeline or this is a flashback uh, basically on the actors or the characters from the 80s. Okay. Music can also set the mood to serve as a clue or to enhance the feeling portrayed in a drama. Appropriate mood music is played. Musical chords are used as punctuators to highlight an action or statement. So when the actor, for example, in a radio drama is happy, so of course you're going to use happy music as background. And when the actor, for example, is depressed or sad, then of course you use sad music. So it music actually enhances the mood of the scene. Okay, and of course music can be used as sound effects. Music can aid in establishing locale, situation, or era. Okay. Whether as a signature theme, bridge, background, stinger, sound effect, music pieces should be applied judiciously. Okay, use music to appropriate, use music appropriate to the mood and content of the production, and avoid excessive use of music for background or for establishing mood. So it has to be done in a very conservative manner. So use crafting or use craft in fading in and fading out or sneaking in and out of music. Okay. This will be very handy when you're writing your script for radio drama or you're writing a script for any other radio program. Okay. So these are some of the music application techniques that you can use in writing. Okay. So you have fade in, of course, starting music from nothing, then slowly bring it up to desired level. So fade out, bringing down music for an existing level to zero. Fade down, bringing down music from a certain level to a lower optimum level. And fade under, bringing down the loudness of music to a background level. So fade down and fade under is actually very similar to each other. And then you have sustain, keeping keeping constant level of music over a period of time during the show. Okay. Other terms, you have your crossfade, bringing down the music simultaneously with the fading up of a second piece. So crossfades are done in order uh, for you or for the music program to not have any dead air. Okay, sneak in, introducing music slowly during a dialogue or speech, such as it is practically unnoticed to help enhance the mood or the scene. So in some instance, this is used to basically when you hear something or let's say a person or a character playing or saying something, tapos then you notice there's music na pala. So it's sneaking in during the scene. So if you can sneak in, of course you can sneak out. It's fading out of a piece of music when it's no longer relevant without the listeners noticing. And sig or seg, playing off the succeeding music immediately after the last note of the previous music. Okay, again, so that it can seem very seamless. Okay. So that ends my lecture on um, the elements of radio. I'm Again, if you have any questions, you can send me a course message or you can ask them during our synchronous sessions. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll see you in the next lecture.